Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. This is our player ratings episode for Wolves 1, Aston Villa 1. So we'll get straight on in there. Then you want to go to utvpodcast.co.uk and go on to the social hub section and then go on to player ratings. You'll see the average, what Villa fans have rated each player. I can already see one, which I'm a little bit suspect of. But, yeah, there we go. Right, so we'll go through the ratings. We'll go through each player's performance and we'll build a picture and we'll try and figure out who was player of the match for Aston Villa then. So, Martinez, I am going to go with an 8. I think he made a fantastic save off Neto to keep it at 1-1. Other than that, I don't really think he had too much to do, but we know what Emi Martinez is like. He steps up when he's called upon, and he made a world-class save to keep us in the game. So I think Martinez, for me, he's going to get a solid 8 score. He didn't really have too much to do. I don't think he could have done much about their goal. Very suspect defending from Villa all round on that goal. But apart from that, really, there wasn't really too many chances that Wolves had in the game, to be fair. So on a game that I don't think Villa played very well, I don't think Wolves created loads and loads of chances. Diego Carlos, I felt like he was probably the better of most of the defenders against Wolves. I think he was composed. His technical ability defending was really good. His awareness was good. He's strong. He's physical. His headers were great. I think he was looking for that ball slicing through central midfield quite a lot. I think some of his pinging balls were quite decent, and then some of the times I think the passing wasn't too great. But all in all, I think he was probably the better of most of our defenders against Wolves. Konsa, I'm going to go with a 6. I just felt like a lot of our players against Wolves were sort of not run ragged, but just run a little bit out of shape. Like, positioning weren't great. I'd like to see the stats on the ground duels, which we'll probably get into on the debrief, but it just felt bitty from a lot of our players. I wouldn't say we were roughed up. I think that's probably the wrong phrase to use, but it just felt like we just weren't quite at it positionally, and then that led to like poor passes. So Konsa's going to get a 6 for me. Luca Dean, I felt like he had quite a good game. I think his attacking output on that left-hand side was okay. He got into some really good areas. I think he did okay as well. I think he had probably a little bit more license with us going with those 3 centre-halves. But, I felt like Luca Dean had a decent game. Cash, okay-ish. Bit scratchy on some of his chances that he had at the back post. Never really connected that well with it. I don't felt like it was as fluid as I would like from the 2 midfielders in front of the double pivot, and I just felt like he had an okay game. Pau Torres, I'm gonna go with a 6.5/7/6. So we'll go 7 because I felt like his defending of Pedro Neto twice. It's got to go down to a 6, actually. Twice his defending against Pedro Neto was very, very suspect. He needs to just be more composed and just stick a foot in and get that tackle right early. And we've seen a couple of times now that when he sort of allows the player to sort of get in that fluid motion of running down the wing, he struggles to keep up at times. And I just think the decision needs to be made early to put that foot in, to make that challenge or make that foul, and we won't be in this situation. So the goal came from Luis losing the ball and then Pau not defending Neto correctly. He then had him again and he got turned inside. So that's why he was going to get a 6. But then again, he went down the other end of the pitch and he got his goal, which was a great goal at the back post that sort of got us to this point that we're at now. But the 2 Pedro Neto challenges that he doesn't make outweigh getting the goal for me, I think. If it was just the Neto once and the goal, I'd say maybe 7, but he's really got to work on that defending for me because, when he's got the ball at his feet, he looked good today. He looked good every time he got the touches and, etc. But just that defending 1v1 has got to improve, whereas Conte's 1v1 defending is always very, very good. Dougie Luiz gets a 5. A rare, poor Dougie Luiz performance. And it wasn't great, was it, from Luiz? Just didn't look like Luiz, did it really? It was very, very loose. Couldn't really get his little swagger on it, could he? And he gave the ball away numerous times. He had some shots on the edge of the box that he should have done better with. He had his hands on one of their players, which on another day, another ref probably sends him off for it. And yeah, it just looks a bit disjointed in there. We looked a little bit rattled at times, and I just think we didn't have that fluidity about us. So Luiz will go 5. McGinn, I'll go 6. I think he was slightly better. He put in 2 great balls that on another day we score from. So his attacking output I thought was really good from McGinn, but again, he didn't really have a grip on the game. He got a yellow card early, which you don't really want McGinn to get, can you? Because he can't put himself about as much. But, McGinn wasn't at it really, was he? But I get, we're coming off the back of a lot of games. We need to rest up, and this little rest probably comes at the right time for us. Diaby, completely out of the game. I think he didn't really do too much, did he? So Diaby was just off it. Watkins, I'll give a 6. Again, at times when he got the ball, it was loose. His touch let him down and could have scored the header maybe. So yeah, just one of them where nothing really felt right in this whole performance. Zaniolo, when he came on, I thought he put himself about a bit. Again, he could have scored at the very, very end, and he had some nice touches. He added that sort of bit of bite that we needed, that bit of tenacity, that bit of physical presence. I felt like he offered something that we needed. I'm going to go Bailey 5, and we'll go Tielemans 5. Interestingly, for the Tielemans critics, he made 11 passes, and 11 of those passes were successful. So, I haven't gave Kamara. I'll go 6. So who would you say my man of the match then for me would be Emi Martinez. He kept us in the game when we needed him. So Martinez for me is man of the match. Player rating episode, it's a bit one of them. It's a bit off it. Weren't the great performance that we needed, but a point to point. And sometimes if you don't play your best, don't lose. And that's precisely what we did. So let's just take it as one of those. We will have an in-depth debrief later on. It'll be tomorrow now. So that'll be out tomorrow, and we'll have the slides, we'll have the stats, we'll have the passing network, so we can go into a little bit more detail. But cheers, everybody. Up the Villa.